So unlike Zoom, when you hit the record button on Zoom, a lady makes a bunch of noise. Unlike Free Conference Call HD, where it does the same, when you steal someone's StreamYard account, shout out to Adam Brsan, it does not talk when you hit the record button. So we paid an extra few dollars. Nope, I didn't. He did, so that we don't have to hear somebody or cut them out in the video. But today, in our industry influencer series, we have Hunter Holcomb, who joins us down in Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
One of the few states I have yet to learn the abbreviation for properly. Hunter, what in the world is Arkansas like? Because I'm one of the few states I've never been to.
Well, it's a lot of farmland, a lot of rural. They've got some. Of course, there's Little Rock, which is kind of an urban center, and then you've got Fayetteville's, Springdale up in there. The headquarters of Walmart. So that's really nice up there. A lot of nice restaurants, a lot of stuff to do. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's a lot of potential up there. So if I buy leads within Arkansas, I try to focus on those areas that are populated, highly populated.
Perfect. Before we get into the weeds on the insurance and your experience in the industry, what did you do prior to the life insurance industry?
Okay, so I was in the Army. I was counterintelligence for a while. Then I got out. I got a taste of, I took an EMT course in the Army just to get out of the office, and found out that I loved it. And I was able to treat a soldier out in the field, and I got fulfilled for the first time in my life, really. So I decided that I was going to follow medicine. So I left that, got into the Army National Guard, and I went to my first drill, and they were going to send me to nursing school, and they decided that they didn't have money for that anymore. So there I was, had a wife and a young baby at the time, so I had to make some choices really fast. So I ended up going to paramedic school at UAMS, and then I was a paramedic for many years, and I worked Faulkner County. So if you're from Arkansas, I might have met you up there. So then I went to be a perfusionist, clinical perfusionist, and I did that till like 2012. There was an issue with the heart program, so I left medicine and bought a tax business. Me and my buddy did. So I still have that, and we're still knocking taxes out. And through all that, I was watching some TikTok, and I noticed somebody talking about insurance, and I'd never thought that'd be me. So I started exploring that. So here I am.
Outstanding. So do you feel like, in your opinion, that there are some transferable job skills that lead people to be successful in this industry?
Absolutely. I think that one thing that's helped me is, and you experience this yourself, as a medic, you get to talk to various forms of life at the worst time in their life. So you get to understand humanity. You get to understand that people make mistakes. People get second chances. And so it really transfers to, like you go into houses, and I do telesales. So I can relate to them, and I can get to their level, and I realize what they're going through. So I think that transfers to a level of comfort. And I think that helps when you get to help protect their family, because they get to trust you a little faster than, somebody else. So I can feel the chemistry on the phone when I talk to them.
Perfect. Now, being that you do this business and you do it over the phone, I think one of the common misunderstandings or common traits I've noticed is when things get difficult for an agent, they instantly think, well, doing it over the phone will be easier. I'll spend less money. I'll have more free time. I'll have to do less and I'll make more. Can you dispel that myth for us?
Yes. It all boils down to hard work and activity. There's no easy road. There's no magic pill. There's no silver bullet. It's buying leads and working those leads. And I hate to sound like that cliche. When I first started, I'm like, I kept hearing all that. Well, it's all true. And you just have to buy more leads, because all they gotta do is hang up the phone. And so you have to overwhelm the system with activity, and that's the key right there.
Yeah. And I remember I spent a day at Northstar, one of the largest telesales organizations in the industry. Great guys there, built a relationship. They said, just come out and see it. Come out and visit, see what you think. And it's just a massive machine that pumps out final expense. And there's nobody doing it easy. There's no one there with their feet up at their desk doing nothing. Premium doesn't just materialize out of the sky. It's systems, hard work, and premium that results from it. So
Right.
I wish people would see that there is no easy way to make a lot of money. If you'd like easy, that's totally fine, but don't expect it to come easy over the phone. In your experience, how much money are you spending weekly on leads? And over the last couple of weeks, how much premium has that produced?
Okay. This is a great topic because I was thinking the other day, I was joking with my wife. I was like, I might not be able to tell you how to succeed, but I can tell you exactly what not to do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to make every mistake until I hit gold, you know? So to answer your question, I pay around 1,700 a week. And sometimes that's more, depends on how many appointments I have.
Mhm.
I buy those leads, and I have a CRM like you, but also have a funnel, and sometimes that'll pre-book some appointments for me. But those are kind of iffy, you know. It's just there as a backup. So it's going to be 1,700 to 2,000 a week minimum, and so your goal is to quickly make your money back, and then try to hit your profitability as fast as possible.
I think
And
sometimes, real quick, the thing that people don't always realize when they're talking about money they're spending, it is you stop thinking about how much money you're making per lead, but how much money you're spending to acquire a client.
right.
Because it's really completely different. I remember the few experiences I had running ads, selling over the phone during COVID. It was a totally different philosophy. I'm thinking, well, this lead cost $50, but I'm going to acquire more clients from this lead than this
Hmm.
$5 lead. And then mix in how much time it's going to take, what the persistency of the business is, what the quality of the clientele is. It's how much does it cost me to acquire business, not just how much this one individual lead has cost me.
Right. And you asked me, you know, about what have I been making as far as weekly. So
Mhm.
far, I've been consistent about 10K a week so far. Now it hadn't been that way, I can tell you. But you know, once you get in a groove and you kind of get confident and you get some experience behind you, you're going to start uh, benefiting from the fruits of your labor there. But
Mhm.
the key is to never give up, and also get some mentors surrounding you, because there is no way you're going to do this by yourself. And you had mentioned something in one of our talks. You said just think about buying leads as peace of mind, and
Mhm.
that's exactly what I did this week, because I had less appointments and it was different for me, so I just went ahead and bought more leads. Now I did make the mistake in the early on by buying too many leads and spending too much money, so you kind of got to watch it and gauge your lead spend to your skill level.
Mhm.
And if you're just brand new, and just make sure you get that experience under your belt, and then you'll start acquiring those skills pretty fast.
You brought up a
So,
good point there I want to walk through for a moment. What else have you seen that didn't work? Because learning what didn't work is just as beneficial as finding out what currently works.
uh, um, I think if you stop buying leads and you think, well, I'm just going to go back and rely on this and this and this, you need to at least have some, even if you buy just the minimal, just buy some fresh ones in there. Just make sure, and also don't stick with one lead source, because you know it can dry up pretty quick on you. You know, like you fall in love with this one vendor, and all of a sudden it's just not working anymore. So you have to be open minded to try different things, and you know, test them out, see how it works. You know, and so you know, I've bought leads from you guys. I've bought them, you know, from another vendor. You know, and so I make sure that I get some variety in there. But if I had stuck with just one, I may not have succeeded.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest differences between telesales and face to face is that direct mail is an easy thing to produce and to work as a face to face agent. Like, here's my leads, go out and work them, blah, blah, blah. With telesales, you have to work with callback leads, TV leads, Facebook leads, SEO leads. There's a whole lot different logistics involved in the process. And it's not just as easy as your leads come in a PDF, you print them, dial them, and go out and bang on the doors.
Right. Another thing I want to mention, if you do telesales and you're trying to get as much bang for your buck, I've got 41 different state licenses from Maine to Hawaii. So if I'm not doing well, I can buy some Hawaii leads and work till like 2 a.m. if I have to. So that's an option.
Yeah, I think people don't even realize the outlay and cost that's going to come if you're going to do telesales properly. Like, you're not just going to do telesales in Maryland, you're not just going to do it in Illinois or Florida. Like, if you were to get hired for a telesales company, minimum they're going to put you in a 5 or 7 state region. If you're going to practically do it, you probably need to have at least 30 states and then understand that the reality of that. Like, you can easily, again, face to face, get 1 state license, buy a set of direct mail, and work a 2-hour radius. Over the phone, you're going to have to work almost the entire region of the country at times.
Right. And also you can get on there and buy leads from places that is like a great expanse, like Montana or Utah, where it's people are going to have to drive and drive and drive, so they usually don't. So if you can swoop in there and get them on the phone, you're going to sell some policies.
Question for you. When I'm home, I have to have an exact list of what needs to be accomplished today, or nothing is getting done except the laundry. So it's not a joke. It's the absolute truth. And
Absolutely.
with a little bit of ADD, with a little bit of distraction, I have to write down hour by hour, sometimes 30-minute markers, what's going to happen today. Hopefully no one zooms in on that, finds out something they shouldn't. The reality is at home, on the phone, working in telesales, there's a ton of distractions. How do you make sure that you're actually making money and not just doing home chores?
I think fear is a great motivator. Failure. You know what you got to do, and there is times that I block out 1 or 2 hours for something else besides this, so that you got to take care of your mental health, and even if it's you feel yourself slipping and you're getting a little tense with some folks, and that's when you need to step away. You got to walk around, go outside, go get something to eat, and reset your brain. Also, I do quite a bit of meditation in the morning and try to focus on what I've got ahead of me. And I saw this on something, I don't know, but write out your daily goal. So that's kind of like a legit manifestation. And so I try to, I just go, my time, my activity is insane prior to noon. I'm just getting after it. And if I can get something on a sell on the board prior to noon, then I can calm down a little bit. And I tell my wife, it's like I put green on the board because I'll on my calendar, I'll make it green. So that's what I do. But also I do give myself some levity to take care of some personal things if I have to. Now in the beginning, I barely left the seat, and that wasn't smart. It's not good for you. It's not good for your health. And also another thing is get a little bit of exercise in there, even if it's just a little bit, because also I try to dress for work a little bit, like be cleaned up and kind of groomed up before I sit down, even though no one sees me, because it's all a mindset thing.
Absolutely. We had a good talk a few weeks ago about work-life balance. I think it was a question that you asked, and I kind of brought up the philosophy of starting your week early, working hard, and as soon as you hit your goal, as long as your money's right and your budget's under control, then it's safe to take time off. I think we have to find a balance between the hustle, strong income, and being able to do it again next week. In your experience, we both come from a similar background where you have to make life and death decisions like that. Now, most of the time it was a stub toe or a headache or high blood pressure. Not every 911 call is a life or death. But most of our decision making was instant, like right now, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? What's next?
Right.
In this business, a lot of the mid-level and higher level realities of this business are patience. Like, it's going to take time to get good. It's going to take time to make money. It's going to take time to build the relationships and understand products. How have you learned to balance the instantaneous choices you used to have to make versus building patience into this business?
Okay, so I know exactly what you're saying. I think it all, you have to, number one, you have to be humble, you have to be trainable and coachable. And you have to, like I said earlier, you got to surround yourself with specific people who've been there and they're performing to the level that you want to. And this all sounds cliche, but it's legit. At least that's how it is for me. like I take stuff you tell me, and I take it and I listen to what you say. There's other people that I contact, and so I think, like when you're a brand new medic, you're just going by what you learned in the book, and then you realize over time, you just get to where it's all in your training. Just like, I'm also a pilot, and you a lot of stuff you get faced with, while you're flying. So it's all has to do with your training. So if you allow yourself to be coachable, and you don't give up, eventually you're going to be the one that other people seek out, and they're going to ask your advice, and then you realize that you've kind of crossed over a little bit. Now you're helping others. So I think I answered your question. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, I feel like part of the reason why I got into working with others, I don't like the term recruiting, doesn't really make sense. I don't like working with others. Is there's the
Right.
old paramedic philosophy that if you were relatively good at what you did, you were responsible to teach that to other people.
Yes.
And you weren't going to make more than $1 an hour extra to do it, if that. But if you knew what you were doing, they're going to partner you with somebody else so you could show them the ropes. And I think one of the biggest flaws in this industry right now is people thinking that being around others isn't going to make them better. Like a rising tide does raise all ships. I've been on the water to realize that's the truth. And a lone wolf outside of the 1% of the 1% isn't really going to get anywhere. And what the hell fun would that be anyway? So getting around other people that you can help, that you learn from, and you can help others learn makes this lonely business a lot easier to do.
Right. And I've been referred to others, and I've learned so much from individuals. And I've worked a lot of other jobs, but I've met the most compassionate and motivated individuals in this industry, and I didn't expect that. I did not. But I've had people give me the shirt off their back just to train me or give me some info and ask for nothing in return. And I love that. And so I do that myself. Not everyone's going to listen, but you do the best you can.
I've actually very infrequently run into the opposite, where you ask something of somebody looking for some insight or some information or experience, and the only way they're going to give back is if they're making back in the process. And I never grew up that way. I never believed in that way. And I feel like if you give, you'll get something in return. And I also believe I'm going to go out there and produce. I'm going to pay my bills through my own effort. And I'm never going to become dependent on somebody else to take care of myself. I told I'm going to close on this. It doesn't have anything to do with you, but I told an agent once, I don't need you misunderstand this relationship. I don't need your override to pay my mortgage. I don't. And I'm not going to work with somebody that I don't trust. I don't see what they're doing to be honest work. And I don't see their input as helping the ships rise around them. So don't think for one moment that not you, that other person, I needed that person to put food in my mouth. Because I can figure this game out all on my own. And if the world collapsed, I'd still, if the people that put money in weren't there, I'd still have money to pay my bills. But it's no fun to do it alone. In your experience, let's wrap with this point. What would you say your broader and larger goals are in this business? So like going forward.
Okay. So I want to get highly efficient at using my entire license. Okay. So I think I'm doing pretty good final expense. Now there's the whole world of annuities that I want to get into, and that's a whole different deal, but we've got people in our group that are really good at that. So, when it's time for me to transition to that, there they are. And I know who is willing to help me.
Yeah.
Also, I'm studying for my health license, and that's, I should have done that day one. So if someone brand new is listening to this, get your life and your health right away. I kick myself in the head every day that I didn't. So I'm doing that. So I want to get to where, I have an impressive book of business so that, I have renewals coming in so that I am not struggling to pay anything. And so I can be more effective. I think once you calm down a little bit and you've got some good income coming in, you can be that much better for people.
Yeah. Once you get the money monkey off your back, the rest of this becomes a little bit more fun to manage. And learning from being around others that a mere 350 clients creates $8,000 a month in Medicare renewals. And you're talking to the same person for final expense anyway. And that by putting multiple products increases your persistency. I mean, it's a given at that point. You said something earlier that I wanted to wrap with extra. I said, who wants to do a video with me? And you said to me, or I'll let you say it. What did you say to me that brought you on camera today?
I said, I said, it scares the crap out of me, so I've got to do it. You know, I tell my wife, I said, sometimes you just got to walk into traffic.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, why don't you go do that now? No, I'm just kidding. One thing that I want to add is we talk a lot about money, but
Mm-hmm.
what people don't focus on is you're actually helping people.
Mm-hmm.
You're creating generational wealth for people. You're allowing somebody you'll never meet to not be financially devastated when their loved one dies, and we're all gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm lucky because I could have a bunch of times prior to today.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I like, because I'm not going to do anything unless it's benefiting someone else or helping others. And if you get in this industry, that's exactly what you're doing every day.
Yes.
So, and the money's great. It'll follow you. But if you focus on the money only, you're not going to make it, So that's why I'm here.
Yeah. And a lot of the people that we see or talk to in your case in the final expense arena are people that genuinely need a professional to help them with this and genuinely know they need it, but have no idea how it works. And they need somebody who's ethical, who's going to put them in the right position to get them the product that they need. I mean, think about it this way. If you got into an issue and you needed a lawyer, you need to go to court, you would really hope that the lawyer you're sitting with was a professional, was skilled, and would do the right thing. Because in that arena, you know nothing about what's happening until you do some of your own research. So we really have a very sacred responsibility to help people that really genuinely need what we have. And few things in sales allow you to genuinely help somebody and make a generational impact.
Right.
Anything else that you want to wrap up with before we close up for the day?
No, I just, it sounds cliche, but I just feel like somehow I'm blessed to be here. Like I get fulfilled at least one time a day with someone. And what's funny is now I've got this like platoon of little old ladies that just call me for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
There's one named Bernice that calls me once a week. She's 82. And so that kind of stuff, like she's like family now. And and I got her covered with AMAM, and that was the only one that would cover her.
Mm-hmm.
And she is tickled. So, that's enough for me right there, So she's now she can relax and live out whatever final year she's got, but she's pretty tough. So I don't know. It's going to be a while.
Enjoying the people that you spend your time and energy selling is also beneficial, because if you don't like the people you're working with, you're not going to be in this for very long. So that's a great example of really liking and relating and respecting the people that you're helping. So Hunter, I appreciate you recording with us today. If you guys are watching this video, like the video, comment below. If you learned something from it, share it out on social media, and of course, subscribe to the channel so we can continue to grow. And YouTube shows this content to somebody who doesn't even know that they need it.
Right.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks.